Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Monday, September 2. In Squiz Kids Today, Aussie Paralympic gold rush. Israel's ancient museum whoopsie. Big wins for Popyrin and the Wallabies, and Bluey releases a single. That's what's making news, kids style.
The Lowdown.
It's been a weekend gold rush for Australian athletes at the Paralympics in Paris, with medals coming everywhere from the cycling track to the swimming pool and the ping pong table. There was the gold-winning effort from our women's doubles table tennis duo of Lina and Qian, who have now an astonishing 17 Paralympic medals between them. Gold too for Aussie 50-metre swimmer Tom Gallagher, who has cerebral palsy, and gold in the velodrome to Korey Boddington, a cyclist whose injuries after being hit by a car as a child and also having had a motocross accident several years later mean he only has the use of one arm. Amazing. On the start of day 4 of competition, Australia was sitting in 6th place on the medal tally, with more medals expected overnight last night. But it was India's para-archer who captured the world's heart at the weekend. Born with a condition that meant her arms never properly grew, Sheetal Devi shoots the bow and arrow using only her feet, and is one of the top-ranked para-archers in the world, regularly hitting the bullseye. I've stuck a link to video of Sheetal in action in today's episode notes, because it's just so amazing. Speaking of amazing, Victorians were this morning being warned to work from home after wild weather smashed large parts of the state overnight. Wind gusts of up to 120 kilometres per hour were predicted along the coast from South Australia down to the Mornington Peninsula, with thunderstorms forecast for today. And while Brisbane sweltered over the weekend in 35-degree heat, there's an Antarctic cold front on the way from down south, which could bring snow to Tassie and parts of Victoria and New South Wales this week. Absolutely crazy.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Israel, in a museum in Haifa to be exact, where a little boy has had one of those moments that parents all over the world dread. Upon entering the museum with his mum, a museum that houses hundreds of priceless artefacts from the ancient world, the little boy knocked over and smashed a 3,500-year-old pottery urn from the Bronze Age. An urn is a sort of container, like a great big vase or jar, but made from pottery. The boy was captured on CCTV knocking over the urn before his mother grabbed his arm and did a runner. The museum says, though, that it's not angry, and it has invited them back for a special guided tour of the museum. Maybe this time we'll tie the kid's arms behind his back. Oy vey. Oh, there goes the classroom companion Clarion, announcing that today's classroom worksheets are linked to this story. Today, we're looking at perspectives, imagining what it felt like to be the young boy who accidentally knocked over the priceless ancient jar, his worried mum, the thoughtful museum director, and even a bystander watching it all unfold. We'll be exploring different points of view, understanding how the same moment can look and feel very different depending on who you are. So, stick your thinking caps on and let's step into someone else's shoes. You can sign up to Squiz Kids Classroom via our website.
Pop Culture Corner.
Did you celebrate Father's Day yesterday? Did you make a bit of an effort to let the dad or granddad or carer or father figure in your life know how much you love and appreciate them? Well, my kids certainly did, and it gave me the warm and fuzzies. And just in time for Father's Day, everyone's favourite cartoon dog. No, not Squizzy the Newshound, but Bluey has released the newest single from the TV show's upcoming album, Rug Island. The single is called Onesies and is inspired by the episode where Bluey's auntie Brandy brings onesies to the girls and Bingo goes a little bit wild. I've stuck a link to the song in today's episode notes if you want to have a bit of a boogie on the way to school, or maybe even in class today. And I've also stuck a link in today's episode notes to the Bluey website, which was yesterday celebrating Father's Day with a gallery of the dads of Bluey, including Rusty's, Jack's, Chloe's and Mackenzie's dads. And a very happy belated Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Sport time.
As if all the action at the Paralympics isn't enough to take in, there was plenty more sports action besides over the weekend, with two notable efforts from Aussies abroad. Tennis champion Alexei Popyrin pulled off the improbable over the weekend at the US Open, sending world champ Novak Djokovic packing in the third round. It was one of the biggest wins of the Aussie tennis player's career, and he celebrated accordingly. Celebrations too for the Wallabies, Australia's men's rugby union team, who came from behind in rainy conditions in Buenos Aires in Argentina early on Saturday morning, just scraping ahead at the last minute to win the match against the hosts by 20 points to 19 to keep their rugby championship hopes alive. Hey parents, if I told you that during these school holidays you could get your kids out of the house and into an activity that they will not only love but will develop their balance, coordination and agility, you'd say, where do I sign up? Well, you sign up at your nearest Bounce, the indoor action-adventure playground where the action is safe, supervised and a whole lot of fun. Stay and watch your kids master new tricks with an all-press coffee in hand from the cafe. From mini bouncers to freestyle adrenaline athletes, there's something for everyone at Bounce. Check it all out at bounceinc.com.au. And for Squiz Kids, there's a 10% discount during these school holidays. Just use the code SquizKids10 when you book online. Nice! T's and C's in the episode notes.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. In which country did a little boy knock over a 3,500-year-old pottery urn? Yeah, that's right, it was in Israel. Question number 2. From which country does Indian para-archer Sheetal Devi come? That's right, she comes from India. Question number 3. What's the name of the new Bluey single released over the weekend? Well done if you said onesies.
Shout outs.
It's Monday, September 2. Today, my friends, is World Coconut Day. And yes, that is an actual thing. It's also a special day for these Squiz kids celebrating a birthday today and tomorrow. Samuel from Castle Hill, Nixon from Woongarra, Ruby from Dubbo, Olivia from Pacific Pines, Gracie from Neutral Bay, Wilbur, Jax and Seela from Jerilderie, Elliot from Camp Hill, Tilly from Narromburn, Henley from Birkdale, Adeline from Cairns, Ashia from Hammond Park, Kyoka from Ivanhoe, Dakshin from Point Cook, Emerson from Armadale, Bo from Como and Molly from Narandra. And belated birthday shout-outs go to Jared from Thornlands, Cara from Singapore, Marcus from New Zealand, and Cora, who's travelling along the Oregon coast of the United States of America. That sounds like fun. And today's classroom shout-outs go to Class 5K with Mr. Cowald at Flinders Christian Community College in Carrum Downs, to Class 7B1 with Mrs. Reid at Bannockburn P12 College, to Class 1B with Miss Trainer at St Catherine's School in Waverley, to Year 6 at St John's Primary School in Riverston, to Class 5-6 Blue with Mrs. Crow and Mrs. Chokran at Holy Trinity Primary School in Wanturna South, and to Class 5C with Mrs. C at Pulteney Grammar School in Adelaide. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you're after a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow with a special Squiz the World episode on Vietnam, where we strap ourselves into the Squiz Kids Superfast Supersonic Jetliner to pay a visit to one of the most beautiful countries of Southeast Asia. In the meantime, get out there and have yourselves a most excellent day. Over and out.